Face masks are back indoors at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. It turns out the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, well, if you were worried you couldn't get in on opening weekend, you might just have an opportunity now. And Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, is that worth your Disney vacation time? All that, so much more. It's July the 31st, 2021. Kingdom Report Live starts now.
All who come to this happy place, welcome.
Kicking things off like we always do with that live look outside at the Disneyland Resort. Over the trees, through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. You see there the esplanade, the security checking tents right there through the tree line. That is the spot where you enter the theme parks. Hello, everybody. Wade for the Kingdom Report, back with you once again from the Warner Brothers Studios Media District here in beautiful Burbank, California, right around the corner from the Walt Disney Studios and just up the road from that Disneyland Resort. So grateful to have you with us for another broadcast. Thank you for spending some of your weekend with us. And believe me, we know it can be excruciating to sit through a broadcast like this. We know. It's tiresome. You hate the sound of my voice. We get it. So you need to be rewarded. We want to reward you. And we do so with the Kingdom Report Live mug giveaway. You can be a very happy person all by getting your own Kingdom Report mug. All you got to do is leave the comment underneath this very video on our YouTube channel. So if you're watching us, fantastic. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, you're out of luck. You have to wait for this video to post on our YouTube channel, The Kingdom Report on YouTube. You would leave the comment underneath this video as soon as it posts with the comment, the phrase that pays, picks our peer. The phrase that pays picks our peer. That is the comment that you need to leave underneath this very video on our YouTube channel. If you're listening to the broadcast via any number of our podcasting apps, thank you for that. Be sure to rate and review. We always appreciate it. But to win a mug, you need to go on over to our YouTube channel, The Kingdom Report on YouTube. Find this live broadcast, and as soon as it posts after the live show, picks our peer is the comment you need to leave in the comment section down below. We will select a winner at random between now and Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific time is when you have an opportunity to put that phrase that pays in the comment section down below. So between now, 8 a.m. Pacific, Monday, picks our peer, comment section down below, randomly selected to win yourself a Kingdom Report Live mug. Okay, there's all the details for you. I repeat it over and over again because some people get confused. I want you to know how to win. And yes, we pick a winner every week. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you directly, set something up so that we can find out your details and get you your very own mug. In addition to that, your favorite color. Yeah, your favorite color mug too. And if you haven't done so already, we encourage you to hit that thumbs up button no matter where you are listening to us, no matter where you are watching us, whether it's Facebook Live, whether it's YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button. Let everybody know that there is a party happening here and that you are a participant in that party, by God. Speaking of party participants, here this week, filling in for Tyler Crouch and Katrina Manzoni, it's film and theme park journalist Sabina Graves. Hey.
Hey, so excited to be here.
You seem like it with your Haunted Mansion attire.
Yes, we are getting closer and closer to Halloween time at the parks, and I'm so ready.
Your favorite time of year?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you going to go to the Oogie Boogie Bash?
I'm not, but I am going to Orlando for Halloween. So.
Wow. Do you do the Universal craziness?
Yes, I do.
You do that Halloween? Yeah.
Got my tickets for Halloween Horror Nights over there.
Well done.
That Beetlejuice maze that they're getting at the resort. I am so excited.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah. I know when it comes to Halloween, especially the scaries, Universal tends to knock it out of the park. So, yeah. Well, looking forward to also seeing what happens in our Haunted Mansion holiday version here come September. It sounds like we are going to see, as we march on towards the Haunted Mansion holiday opening, a little bit more magic infused, especially with the 20 years.
Yeah, the anniversary.
Yeah,
they
the
did
big
release
celebration.
The design for it, which I'm so excited for, which will highlight every year, I believe, of Haunted Mansion holiday.
Isn't that incredible?
It's going to look great. It's going to smell delicious.
Yeah, right.
Ready for that gingerbread to assault my senses.
Hit me with the gingerbread.
Yes,
please. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting Halloween back after we missed it last year.
The Halloween tree.
Oh,
yes.
Orange everywhere.
Orange everywhere.
Orange everywhere. That's what we do. And to see the parties come back, it's kind of funny, too. We've talked about it on this show, but the Walt Disney World equivalent of the Halloween parties this year is the Boo Bash, which is the modified after-hours event. Not quite the Halloween party they have had of yesteryear, but yet we out here on the West Coast get the full-fledged Halloween party, it sounds like, outside of World of Color.
Yeah,
it sounds like.
But
that Boo Bash is something that continues. Now, I believe all the dates in October are gone.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's shocking.
Offering less, but people are buying it like crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about the after-hours events are the shows, like the Spooky World of Color, and over at the Magic Kingdom, the Hocus Pocus stage show.
Yes.
So, and I actually never got a chance to see the new Halloween show with the Jack Skellington animatronic. I will have to wait, apparently, if that'll come back.
Pretty incredible. Yeah, it is one of those everybody must see. I'm really amped up to see what happens next year when it comes to Halloween at Disney World. They may just be putting the temporary skids on things because we're about to approach their 50th anniversary. And that's certainly something that we haven't necessarily touched on all that much about how, closely aligned the 50th is with Halloween this year in terms of just timing.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a big reason why the Boo Bash is in place of a normal Halloween party. At any rate, so many great things to anticipate and get excited for as Halloween gets a little bit closer to us here. We all know that at Disney, August is basically Halloween. So,
oh yes.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah. But let's not waste any more time. Lots of news to get to, lots of stories to talk about. It's time for Disneyland News. Disneyland News time. All of the latest and greatest headlines coming out of the West Coast, the happiest place on earth, the original Magic Kingdom. And yes, you heard it right. It has happened. Feels like we are taking a step back all of a sudden. Unfortunately, Disney parks from coast to coast here in North America have now reinstituted, per CDC guidance, indoor masking for individuals that are coming into the park, whether they are vaccinated or not. Indoor masking is now a part of the experience once again. U.S. News and World Report reports that Disney has changed its face covering policy and will now require all guests, regardless of vaccination status, to wear a face mask in indoor locations at its theme parks in the U.S. And the company has already implemented that as of this past Friday at its Walt Disney World Resort in Florida and Disneyland Resort in California. Children under the age of 2 are exempt, so that's something worth pointing out. The announcement is a reversal of its previous policy that allowed fully vaccinated visitors to forego masks in the parks. However, Disney is following new guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which recommends that Americans wear masks indoors regardless of vaccination status in areas of high transmission of COVID-19, which at this point seems to be most of the country. So we wanted to share with you a lot of feedback we received from this news update video that we did earlier this week about face masks returning for indoor experiences at the parks. And we really did pose the question in that video saying, does this impact your visit at all? Are you somebody that has been fully vaccinated and now you're upset because you're visiting Disney World or Disneyland and now you have to wear a mask indoors after you're told you didn't have to? Or is it something that you're happy about? You're excited that extra layer is there for the sake of comfort. So we reached out to you. We asked, what do you think? And boy, did you respond. A lot of passionate people in our comments section. It looks like Tam ended up saying that I knew this would happen, but if it won't Excuse me, but it won't keep me from visiting Disney. I just hope they don't shut the parks down again. Amen to that. Jesse ends up saying, just went to Disneyland and California Adventure yesterday and the day before and noticed more people wearing masks than they did back in June, the last time that I went. And Pamela says, I am glad that Disney is following CDC rulings. I still plan on coming for the 50th anniversary. I went to Disney World twice during the pandemic and felt safe there because they have always done what's best for their guests and their cast members. Dee says, still full speed ahead for our September trip. Anthony says, I give up on Disney. That's unfortunate. Kate says, what a joke. We're all vaccinated and ready to go. Now this. Looks like Paridi. I think that's how you say the name. Yep, I'm going on August 12th, and now my trip is ruined. Judith says, I was hoping to get to Disneyland possibly November or December to see the parks all decorated for Christmas. We'll have to wait and see now since I am also my 91-year-old mom's caregiver, and we would be going together. Better to try to be safe than sorry later. More comments came in. Jen said, I have tickets for Disneyland Oogie Boogie Bash and a 2-day park hopper in October. This may be something I will not go to and cancel because I have had COVID and been vaccinated, and I get what my doctor calls mask fatigue very quickly and have a hard time even wearing one for about 10 minutes. So it might be set to have to cancel, and this makes me so sad. Kristen says, I'm actually happy about this decision. It makes me feel safer taking my under 12 aged children who can't get vaccinated yet. Robert says, yes, I canceled my August trip and a family trip in December. It's not enjoyable to wear a mask all day in addition to many closures within the park and at the hotels for the amount of money spent. Online food ordering sounds like a nightmare, and I was having a hard time justifying the trip before this news. This just makes my decision easier, he says. Debbie says, while it's just indoors at this point, I don't understand why I got vaccinated if it doesn't matter and I still have to do what unvaccinated have to do. It's all very frustrating, but I'm happy the parks are still open. Just want this thing to be over. Joseph says, have a November trip planned. Hope people will wise up and get vaccinated so we can enjoy the parks without fear of getting sick. Cherry says, this is no surprise to me, and it's nonsense. I have 2 points. First, when people talk about fully vaccinated, what is that? Because it was originally 2 doses, but now they are talking about a third by the end of this year and a fourth by the first of next year. Second, do people have to be vaccinated so that others' vaccine works, or that I should wear a mask so that other mask works? I live in Florida and will not be going to Disney. Kathleen says the change in policy would actually make me feel more comfortable about attending the parks since the mask mandate has dropped for fully vaccinated people indoors. I have witnessed in Florida children under 12 never wearing a mask indoors, and since they cannot be vaccinated, we know they are breaking the rules. This, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why we have this spike in Florida. People don't want to follow the rules. And Deanna says, well, that's the whole point, right? To be vaccinated so we don't have to wear a mask, but I guess it really doesn't matter because we all have to be wearing masks. So appreciate your patience as I read through all of those. There were so many more of you. We wanted to get as many people as possible, sort of elevated here to be able to be seen and heard. Lots more comments came in, many more expletive filled that we could not share here today. I understand the frustration. I totally get the upset nature of many people who have gone to be vaccinated, and now it's like they're having to take a step back and do what they were told they didn't have to do anymore. I get the whole, I think, confusion too, because now the messaging seems to be really messy. So that's not good. But at this point, I think two particular issues raised here that I appreciate. And one is, thank God the parks aren't having to close again. Yes. And number two, kind of glad it's only indoors during summer where most indoor facilities are air conditioned.
Exactly.
At least there's that.
No, definitely. We have the unfortunate situation where we were allowed to go unmasked based on the honor system, which had its own set of complications. Like one of the comments said, they saw a lot of children under 12 or 12 not wearing masks when they should have been. And, for a place that is huge on having a family experience, that was going to cause a spike no matter what way you painted it, And, I was one of the people who kind of, when we went back to the parks, believed, maybe we should keep the masks on indoors until children have a vaccine or a different solution. And, in the hopes that by now we would have just not had to have masks on,
Sure.
like kind of that sacrifice at the start and then not have to go back. But unfortunately we are in this situation now, and, everyone has their boundaries and things they're comfortable with or not comfortable with. I think that obviously, if you have mask fatigue, maybe reschedule your trips. It sucks. But, at the end of the day, you want to have great memories and, visit the place that makes you happy. So definitely this is going to be something that just will continue to evolve as hopefully more and more folks get vaccinated and we're able to achieve that herd immunity. But it just seems like we're going to be in this for a while longer. Hopefully the parks will remain open, though.
Yeah, definitely so. And certainly, the confusion of the on again, off again mask guidance mixed with different states doing different things too. And then on top of that, now we're hearing that vaccinated people also are transmitting the virus. And that wasn't really anticipated to become a problem. And it's becoming more of a problem. And so these things are all playing into these decisions. And I think the important thing to remember for everybody is that Disney doesn't want this to happen. Disney doesn't want these restrictions. Disney doesn't want people to have to obey these rules. They don't want to have to enforce it either, because it's hell to enforce these sorts of things in the theme parks. It's we've witnessed over the last year.
Cast members.
I was just about to say it. We've witnessed over the last year the police reports of cast members being assaulted and treated terribly for having to enforce rules that the company says we need to follow these rules because they're coming from on high. Please be respectful to Disney cast members. It's not their fault. It's not their rule. They are simply having to enforce it. And hopefully with it just being indoors for now, hopefully that won't last very long. And we can see things go back the opposite direction, which we were going. So moving along here, in happier news, many parades are starting to return to Disneyland and California Adventure. Orange County Register's Brady McDonald says the return of parade floats along Main Street USA is another sign that Disneyland is slowly but surely beginning to reintroduce more live entertainment sidelined by the extended coronavirus closure of the Anaheim theme park. Disneyland and California Adventure have started offering 3 mini parades in preparation for the return of a full parade in September, tied to the kickoff of the Halloween season. Oh boy. The mini parades known as cavalcades include a snow and icicle covered frozen float with Anna and Elsa at Disneyland, and a Toy Story procession at California Adventure with Woody, Jesse, and Sarge driving an army jeep filled with oversized toys. Who doesn't love an army jeep? Disneyland also boasts a Mickey and Friends cavalcade with a rotating cast of characters that can include the Fab Five, Chip and Dale, Peter Pan, Wendy and Captain Hook, and Disney princesses traveling on Main Street USA vehicles or walking behind them. It's very cool to hear that these cavalcades are making their way into both Main Street USA and California Adventure. We have seen these here in recent weeks, not just California Adventure with the toy soldier truck Jeep, as it were, as well as the Incredibles over in California Adventure, but also Mickey, Minnie, and the gang. So we're doing a procession down Main Street. Disneyland Band now getting back more into the action. It's so wonderful to see these elements of entertainment returning, because I think that was everybody's real concern. Over in Magic Kingdom in Florida, they have room to run these cavalcades like crazy. And it's not a big deal. Disneyland, it's like when you run a parade float down the street, you take up a majority of the space and it becomes a problem with crowding. And I think the hesitation was, are they going to do this or aren't they? And now we have our answer. They're starting to.
It's so amazing. I'm so excited. I loved the cavalcades at Disney World, the villains one with Chernabog. But these are bigger floats over there, so it totally makes sense that they had to totally reimagine what a cavalcade would look like at Disneyland. I am so excited to see who we will be seeing down on Main Street or in New Orleans Square parading about for the Halloween season.
Very soon. Yes, indeed. We're amped up to get ourselves a little bit more entertainment into the parks, as it has been a slow roll, a slow burn, as Disneyland has returned and things have slowly started to come back online. We all know that Walt Disney World opened last year in July, so they've been open a while, and they've offered a lot more in terms of entertainment over the course of that time and sort of mastered how to play with the drops of magic is what I like to call it in terms of entertainment. I have to say, and tell me what you think, I far prefer these randomized appearances of floats and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely. It's very delightful. You're just making your way, and then all of a sudden the music comes on, and you see an amazing float and performers. It just is such a way to like just make the day much more magical.
Yeah, like you don't know it's coming. It sneaks
You don't know
up
who
on
you're
you.
gonna get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who's coming around the corner all of a sudden? Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that like it adds so much to that feel of this place is so magical. Like you just don't know where the next drop of magic is coming from. So I think having that and that surprise factor is so cool. Whereas, for years we were conditioned to the parade is at 3 p.m. and you will wait for it for an hour. And we will see that procession come through. And then there, on busy days, there might be a parade in the evening hours as well. And then fireworks are at this time. And everything was very structured. And I understood it was for the sake of people being able to plan their day. But this idea of dropping the magic in sporadic bursts is so much more fun to me. And I'm really, really happy to see Disneyland doing that.
No, definitely. And with all the outdoor queues that we have currently, it's awesome to have something to look at while you're in line that's going by you. So
yeah, you never know.
Great.
It's so cool. And in other great news for our legacy pass holders out there, that is the former Disneyland annual pass holders that no longer get to be annual pass holders. They're honored with the legacy pass. And all that really means at this point is that you get a discount. So the Disneyland Legacy Pass Holder discount has been extended through August the 15th. The Disneyland Resort Legacy Pass Holder discount has been extended once more because this has continually been updated as they have gone along. They were previously set to expire on July 30th, but can now be used for various discounts and special perks through August 15th. This timeline is very unusual.
Oh, so unusual.
What do you think's about to happen?
Honestly, I went to Disneyland recently and I had the option to upgrade, for example, to the 3-day SoCal Pass. And I was talking to one of my peers on Clubhouse in a theme park entertainment room, and they had mentioned, if you upgrade to the 3-day, you don't have the opportunity to upgrade past that, right? Huh. And the expiration date on those is, I think they're only valid until the end of September. So that, I think I found that very curious. So with the constant extending of the Legacy Pass holder discounts, not going past September, I'm a little hopeful that maybe we'll get some news about like the fall being when we might hear what the new incarnation of the annual passes will be.
I'm thinking so too. It definitely seems like we're headed that direction. This timeline is so bizarre to have it just be extended out by like basically 2 weeks. Sure does feel like something's coming. Yeah. And we know based on what the president of Disneyland has already said that before the end of the year, we are going to get some sort of membership program. They're trying not to call it an annual pass anymore. I don't know what they're going to call it in the end, but something is coming our way, and I'm sure it'll be obesely expensive, and I'm sure...
Oh, for sure. I mean, there has to be a reason why we won't be able to apply, for example, the SoCal 3-day.
Right, good point.
That we're paying toward that, so... That's interesting.
When do you imagine we're going to see annual passes return for sale on both coasts? Do you think that it's going to be a same time thing where Disney World and their engine starts back up for annual passes at the same time that ours do?
I have no idea, but I do think that Disney World will probably start up again. I don't know if we'll see something like the Premier Pass for a while, if at all, which makes me really sad. But, I think for us, these dates that we're getting on like, oh, you can't use the 3-day ticket past September. Oh, the like Legacy Pass holder discount is only good for another few weeks. It's very curious. So hopefully we'll get some sort of announcement, maybe at any events coming soon.
We might just hear. I know that Destination D23 event is coming up in Walt Disney World here in a couple months. Maybe something big will be announced there. They tend to hold those announcements for those big moments where they're in front of the major crowd, so we'll certainly see. But at any rate, you let us know in the comments section just beneath this video if you're watching us on YouTube exactly what you think regarding the new mask guidance of indoor masking being re-implemented for people that are vaccinated and unvaccinated, of course. But that re-implementation, is that something that's going to stop you from visiting your Disney park of choice anytime soon? We'd love to hear your perspective, as so many people shared their perspective here today. Keep it civil, of course. That's why we do what we do. Civility matters, and we need to get along with each other as much as we possibly can. So keep it simple, please. And then on top of that, let us know when you think a annual pass might be, or whatever we call it, a membership program, might be announced, because it sounds like we might be getting very close to that. You stick around. Plenty more to come here on the Kingdom Report, including Walt Disney World news.
Do you know everything the ghost host is going to say before he says it? Are you ready to thank the Venetians each time you board Spaceship Earth? Can you recite Walt's opening day dedication speech? Then join the Kingdom team today, the influential legacy fan community featuring exclusive merchandise that will alert all who've come to this happy place that you are more than just another guest. You are a trusted theme park fan. Don't miss out. Join the Kingdom team right now by visiting the homepage at kingdomreportlive.com. That's kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Walt Disney World news time with our Florida reporter, Mr. Gared Hassel. Gared on the go time somewhere in Orlando for us. Where are you at today, mister?
Well, I have a hotel to check into in a couple minutes, so I'm just waiting out time. I keep hearing screams come from it. So
what is that
I think
about?
I'm gonna have a lot of fun with my hotel where their scream come from. But I'm actually in front of the Theater of the Stars, where the Beauty and the Beast live on stage show will be coming back August 15th. It is a whimsical show with a star-studded cast with the greatest protagonist of all time, Gaston. And some other people.
A lot of people would debate that with you, I think. But yes, it's so cool to hear that not only entertainment returning on the Disneyland coast, but also the Walt Disney World coast, and knowing that we're going to be getting back our Beauty and the Beast live on stage, especially in a park that needs a little bit more to do.
For sure.
It's so show heavy there that when it doesn't have its shows, boy, you realize how little there is to do.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
The shows over there are always a must-do. So it's definitely been odd to go around and be like, okay, we hit all these rides.
Yeah, right.
Let's go back to the hotel.
That's the extent, and we're done. Yeah. No. So what time you checking into
Bring back
the
Fantastic,
tower?
please.
I think they say that you can drop by any time.
You gonna check in at 3, 4?
Yeah. I'm gonna drop in. I heard the 13th floor is where I want to go.
Sure.
And it should be fun. Like,
Yeah.
I hear the maitre d' is lovely, and the bellhop is lovely too.
Maitre d' and dining at that hotel is exquisite, from what I understand. And dining at the rest of Walt Disney World is about to get a whole lot more exciting. Am I right?
Yes, thank goodness.
Yes, that is indeed very, very true, because multiple restaurants are coming back online very, very soon. Starting off, Yachtsman Steakhouse at the Yacht Club Resort at Yacht and Beach is coming back August 5th, and it's got a star-studded menu up there. The lobster bisque, chilled Admiral's Tower for 2, and chocolate cake are coming back. I love me some chocolate cake. Then Toledo, tapas, steak, and seafood at Coronado Springs. That's coming back as well. They're going to have some tapas, charred octopus, pan con tomate. I'm more of a French than a Spanish person, so I apologize. But everyone's favorite location at Magic Kingdom is coming back, Columbia Harbor House. Now, this area has been mainly used for a queue for the Peter Pan's flight, but this is honestly one of my favorite restaurants, not always for the food, but just the location and the decorations that they have inside are simply just so fun. It's nautical themed, and plus you're in Liberty Square. But finally, chart a course of adventure, because Pizza Bar is coming back. Get yourself a pizza or whatever kind of fun dish that you want. I've actually never eaten at Pizza Safari, but they are bringing back a spaghetti and meatball cupcake, which I don't know what that's going to be like. So I'm very curious to see that, because if it's actual spaghetti and meatballs on, baked goods, I want to steer clear of that. But if it's not, I might try it.
What a smart idea.
It's a spaghetti and a meatball. I gotta deal with the Italian accent.
Sounds fascinating. I mean, they're so creative with their food opportunities out there. Sabina, you ever been to Columbia Harbor House at Magic Kingdom?
I have not.
That's the place for your lobster roll.
You know, when I went recently, it was still the queue for Peter Pan. So I got to walk through it for the first time.
Got to see that 2-floor seating.
Yes.
Yeah, I get to sit on the above ground or the baseline ground there, and yeah, it's so cool to see restaurants returning, especially as it feels like definitely more capacity is being let into these parks, and so you need more places for people to go. Pizza Safari. I don't know anybody that went there too much when it was open originally. You never hear people going in Animal Kingdom going, "Can't wait to stop by Pizza Safari today," but it's there.
I'm excited for Toledo. I am now a huge fan of staying at Coronado Springs.
Oh, it's so great.
So when I went recently, I stayed in the tower and we got to check out Three Bridges Bar and Grill, which is incredible.
Yes.
I dream of those wings all the time. But yeah, no, when we'd go up to like the top floor, Toledo was closed and the Dahlia Lounge was open. But I'm excited to try that food offering when I check in this fall.
Coronado Springs becoming such a hit with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Becoming the sleeper hit, too. You know, I feel like it's not quite popular enough for everybody to go running to. It doesn't seem to be...
Which is good.
Yeah, you're right.
For now.
Yeah, it's the sleeper hit, and it seems to be with those who've been able to experience Coronado in the last year or so, especially since the tower has come along. Things there have just become really spectacular, and as we continue to hear, much more of a deluxe-type feeling experience
Definitely.
for a moderate price.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Hey, Gared, when it comes to your lobster sandwich, your lobster roll, tell me, do you put anything on it?
I do a little squirt of lemon, just get a little zing, you know, that citrus flavor. But for me, like, I keep it pretty simple, you know, bun, lobster, maybe tomato, maybe a little bit of, you know, some veggies, some lettuce, and that's it. Lobster roll is pretty good. It's like PB&J. You don't need to change anything to make it better. It's already right there.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. You know, it's a fine thing on its own. I also love a lobster bisque. Lobster is just phenomenal. I heard in the past they used to give lobster to inmates because it was, you know, considered like a poor man's fish. Well, give me all the lobster you want. I'll take that lobster. I love lobster.
It is the cockroach of the sea, my friend. Who doesn't love it?
It's a beautiful, tasty cockroach.
The
survive
best.
nuclear blast.
They can do it all. Well, from there, we move along to continued news that it sounds like the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World has once again been something that now more people can experience. We talked about it when we last spoke, that park reservations had been replenished, and now it's happened again. How many people are coming to this thing?
Everyone and their cousins.
That's
the truth. So the Park Pass reservation for Walt Disney World for the 50th, specifically October 1st, that's the day that the celebration kicks off. They ran out and they replenished it, and they've replenished it again. So this just keeps getting better and better and better, giving more people the ability to come out here and experience the world's most magical celebration. That's a tagline that the parks are using. But if you're coming out here or you want to, get those reservations now, because while they may have replenished, they go really, really fast. They go like hotcakes. And I don't know what hotcake is, but I hear the expression a lot.
They're better than the Papa Cakes.
Yeah, way better than the pop cakes on pop cakes. But yeah, the 50th anniversary is going to be such a grand spectacle to see. The castle is fully all decked out in its decoration. We're going to have beacons of magic, fireworks spectaculars, and the Ratatouille attractions coming back. It's just going to be an amazing 18-month celebration, maybe 24. We don't know what Disney does, but it's going to be truly exciting. But it makes me so happy that these park passes are available, because that means more and more are coming either to the parks, or Disney's like, we need more and more money, so come to the parks. Either way, if you're an annual pass holder, it's easy for you. But if you wanted to do this huge celebration and you haven't had a vacation in a while, the 50th anniversary is the one I would say you need to come to, because you only get to celebrate a 50th anniversary at Walt Disney World once, because, well, it gets older. That's how mathematics and age works.
Right.
So come on out, celebrate with me. we're going to be eating lobster bisque and lobster rolls.
Lobster per days during a big 50th celebration. And these anniversaries tend to go on for more than just the 50th year, more than just the celebratory year, we should say. So typically we'll see an 18-month-long celebration, sometimes a little more, depending on what they want to do. But absolutely amped up to see the Magic Kingdom celebrate the Big 50. I know that out here at Disneyland, it was considered a real over-the-top celebration. You know, they had that opening ceremony was so spectacular. I remember Julie Andrews was the ambassador for the 50th anniversary, and they brought back all of the Disney legends and had a huge spectacle. I think at the time Arnold Schwarzenegger was our governor, and he was there. I mean, it was such a big spectacle to sort of rededicate Disneyland after 50 years, and now the Magic Kingdom gets its moment to shine in uncertain times too, where I know that, you know, the Disney magic means even more right now because of that. But it's certainly something that I know I'm going to make a trip out to see. Are you?
Oh, yes, I will be there that weekend. And with the news that the reservations have opened up again, I have an empty Friday slot.
Oh.
And my slot for Magic Kingdom a few months ago was Sunday. Okay. But now I'm going to try and secure that Friday slot to get in there for the celebration. I grew up here at Disneyland, and the 50th anniversary is one of the highlights of my memories over at the parks. And as a recent Walt Disney World convert, thanks to my husband and through work, I am so excited to celebrate this park that has been there for us during this time that we've been experiencing, for sure. So
yeah,
we got to go party.
That's going to be great. I'm so happy for you too. You know, especially now knowing that these reservation pockets are opening up again. And you know, we covered it last week where it opened up and then they filled it all up by midweek, and then all of a sudden, again, they opened up more. So I don't know what the capacity is going to be come October, because they're talking about how it's always being restricted. That's why we're still doing the Park Pass reservations. But no doubt they're trying to allow as many people as possible to come experience the 50th anniversary on opening day. And Magic Kingdom, no doubt, is the place to be because it's that park's specific 50th anniversary.
I'm so intrigued to find out what's going to replace Happily Ever After.
Yes.
You know, like everyone was so shocked.
It's going to be Disney Enchantment. That's what they're calling the 50th fireworks spectacular. They're going to have projections down Main Street like they did at the 60th at Disneyland. But after Happily Ever After, maybe we'll have Disney Enchantment for a while. I don't know. If we can hear a Walt Disney quote, about just hope we all remember one thing. It was all started by a mouse, just like, the chills and
all the tears.
All the tears. Because when they did that at Disneyland, it's just like,
yeah.
Or Julie Andrews narrating, just let her talk and say awesome things in her perfect accent, and we'll be good.
You know, still to this very day, one of my absolute favorite fireworks spectaculars, Remember Dreams Come True, was that 50th at Disneyland's fireworks spectacular, and they brought it back so many times over the last the preceding 10 years. They brought it back multiple times in different sort of iterations. They trimmed a little here, you know, changed a little there, got rid of Julie Andrews saying 50 years ago, because that didn't hold up after a couple years, but it ultimately became one of those things where it was like a warm hug, you know, watching that show, because it really just celebrated Disneyland. And, you know, it hit on all of the major attractions, on all the great memories that Disneyland has provided. I kind of was anticipating that Epcot Forever was going to be that over at Epcot, you know, that it was going to pull on the same sort of nostalgia strings when it premiered. Yeah, kind of missed the mark on that one, unfortunately. But, you know, when you build a show based on nostalgia, it's like, how can you lose? But sometimes they miss the mark, and really hoping that Enchantment ends up being a over-the-top, mega spectacular, one that I already know, because we've talked about it, Gared. I think you've reported on it even, that, you know, they've even cleared additional land in and around the Magic Kingdom for the sake of expanding out further firework effects. That's going to be great, because they can already do that grand circle fireworks that they usually hold on to for, I think it's the Christmas fireworks. They do that where they fully encompass
the
you in
180,
the 180, right?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So I would imagine that based on them clearing more land for this fireworks show, that we are about to be wowed like never before.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I sing.
When going through Disney, oftentimes, like, I'll drive behind the Contemporary, go back towards that back area to get home. And the past few days, one of the roads back there has been closed.
Oh.
And that road never closes for anything. And I'm thinking Tron's back there, but Tron isn't taking up more room. So maybe they're building more fireworks stuff or something. Fingers crossed. If we can get, like you get the scene from Lion King where it's like, boom, but just like a plethora of fireworks that lights up the night sky.
Yes, please.
Lion King, one of the finest soundtracks of all time. Thank you, Elton John.
Yes, well, let's do it. I'm looking forward to whatever they throw at us for the 50th, because we've talked about many times on this show that no doubt more is to come that they haven't announced, that they've probably been holding on to for the sake of wondering how they're going to proceed in this uncertain environment. So no doubt more is still to come, especially entertainment-wise. I would imagine we're going to probably see a new parade at some point.
That'd be so cool.
So we'll see. But moving along here, buddy, I understand that the Ultimate Fan event is coming to Walt Disney World.
It's coming back. If you folks don't know what we're talking about, Destination D23 is coming back to Walt Disney World. And it sold out within minutes. Destination D23 is going to be here at Walt Disney World November 19th through the 21st. And if you wanted tickets, too bad, because they sold out in 17 minutes. Literally 17 minutes. People thought it was a glitch. Nope. They were gone that fast. It sold out faster than, well, pretty on par with what Rise of the Resistance is like, I imagine. Just frustration and celebration at the same time. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. If you did not know, D23 is the official Disney fan club. The D stands for, of course, Disney, and the 23 relates to 1923, which is the year that Walt Disney founded this wonderful company that we all celebrate. And this event is going to simply be spectacular. It's pretty much a convention, and this is where you hear a lot about what's coming for the Walt Disney Company, whether it's parks, movies, resorts, so on and so forth. And this year, you're going to be hearing some spectacular things. You'll have a warm welcome by Disney CEO Bob Chapek. But after that, right after that, the party really begins, because everyone's favorite executive, Josh D'Amaro, comes on stage, and he's going to be pretty much telling us what's going on with the parks, because he is the chairman of Parks and Resorts. So, Josh, if you're watching this, I know you are. I need to know about Tron. I need to know about Guardians of the Galaxy. I need to know what's going on internationally. I want to know about all the different cruise lines. I want to know about when you're going to mail me your autographed picture that I sent to you 3 months ago.
Yeah, glossy.
But in addition to that, we'll probably see what's coming to Disney Plus, some awesome presentations, whether it's musical performances by some Disney stars, whether they're Broadway or just normal artists. We'll have, some art and imagery. The Magical World of Encanto, the next big film to come out. You'll see pretty much like stars from the Disney parks, whether that is, Disney celebrities or the origin story of how Figment and Orange Bird came about. But yeah, there's going to be some amazing things. And probably the biggest thing is people love merchandise. I don't know if you knew this.
They do.
Yes.
People like if you go into Disney World, you will see Mickey Mouse shirts on. It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. Oh. But the Mickey's of Glendale, which is the Walt Disney Imagineering campus store, will be having a pop-up shop at D23 where they have exclusive merchandise. So I imagine that will sell out in 17 minutes, just like the tickets did. But yeah, this is simply going to be an amazing event. If anyone has a +1, send it to either myself or Wade. We'd love to come with you. We are lovely dates. We will dress up Argyle sweaters. Sabina, do you have an Argyle sweater?
I can find one.
We need to match.
Yes.
That's at a girl.
Squad.
But yeah, D23 it's coming every couple of years. It changes location. Sometimes it's at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is, right behind Disneyland, or comes out here, Tokyo, Paris, you never know. But this year, come to Walt Disney World in November, where the weather is phenomenal. So I hope if you're going to it that you have a fantastic time. But for the rest of us mortals that weren't able to get tickets, I'm excited mainly for what's coming to the parks, because as we know, the parks have been sort of shut down for a year. So let's see what's coming in the future, especially Epcot wise, because Epcot still is getting its nip and tuck. So we'll wait and see for that.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Yeah. Destination D23 always seems to be sort of the smaller scale of the D23 events, where, the D23 Expo that typically is like on a grand stage that has like the small arena at Anaheim Convention Center and stuff like that. Destination D23 seems to be a little bit smaller in scope, but still has a plethora of announcements and big events and things that they offer and opportunities to meet, as Gared was saying, our Disney legend friends and characters and stuff like that. Disney Channel stars tend to show up to those things. Do you imagine, Sabina, that we're going to see or hear any sort of big next phase for Walt Disney World at this event? Or do you think they might be referencing more about the Disneyland Forward project out here?
I hope they talk about the Disneyland Forward project. That would be so incredible. But I do think that, due to a lot of the delays that we've had over the past year, that we will hopefully get a lot of date confirmations for when things will be coming up. Like Gared said, I am very excited about Guardians. When we're going to get that. That's going to be great. I know that they're going to start shooting the film pretty soon here. So hopefully they'll be shooting the footage that they need for that ride as well.
Can't wait to see that and to be able to board that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, be spinning around and flying all over the place. It'll be awesome. Well,
I want to launch backwards. And twist in weird directions and I want to have Star-Lord make horrible jokes.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt you will be there spinning with them, listening to the terrible jokes, probably trying to add your own as you go.
Absolutely.
Of course.
How could I not?
It's
going to be out of this world.
Wah, wah. Waka waka, we should say. Thank you for that. Well, Gared, be sure to drop in to the Hollywood Tower Hotel back there. And thank you for bringing us the headlines from out east this week.
Thanks. Dropping out.
There he goes. He dropped. All right. Well, my friends, feel like we should keep the fun moving along, don't you? I feel like the fun should keep progressing. So, it's time for Do It or Ditch It. Do It or Ditch It time. This is where we take a look at a park attraction, either at Walt Disney World or the Disneyland Resort, and share with you whether or not something is worth doing or ditching. I know it's a complicated concept. It can be very troubling for those people that can't grasp one thing or another. But let me tell you something. We're here to help. We are here to help provide you the very thing that we are presenting in this here segment. And that is perspective. Perspective on whether or not something is worth doing or ditching. Today it is all about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Disney's Hollywood Studios Park. This is an attraction that, my goodness, replaced a classic, that's for sure. But Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a trackless dark ride located within the Hollywood Studios theme park. A second upcoming location is scheduled for Mickey's Toontown here at Disneyland Resort and the Disneyland Park Complex. The attraction is the first ride-through attraction to at a Disney theme park to be themed to Mickey Mouse, which is kind of crazy to think about. Yeah. It took that long, but it is based on the stylized world from the character's 2013 animated television series, and the premise of the ride is where guests are invited into the theater to watch the film premiere of a brand new Mickey Mouse cartoon. That cartoon is called Perfect Picnic. According to Imagineer Kevin Rafferty, guests will then pass through a simulated movie screen and experience a zippy-zany, out-of-control adventure. The objective is for riders to feel like they are being transported into the cartoon aboard Goofy's train. In this version of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Hollywood Studios opened in the era where we were just about to enter the pandemic, and so unfortunately a lot of people got very excited for this ride, didn't get to see it, and then since Walt Disney World has reopened, a lot more people have been able to experience it, fortunately, it was one of those things that when it opened in 2020, we had our people there to experience it and at least share some of the videos with folks during the time where most of the parks were shut down, but it is back in action and something that many people can experience now. It is something that has replaced the Great Movie Ride, which a lot of people adore, a lot of people absolutely loved, and was the icon of the park, the Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood Studios. Sabina, this ride has so much magic pumped into it by way of really just digital screens, really just, your projection mapping, and is something that I know causes a lot of people to say, well, isn't it just like watching a movie? For those who haven't been on it, wasn't it just like watching a movie and riding around in a movie? Remarkably, it's a little bit more than that.
Oh, definitely. There's this misconception of it being like, is it just set pieces and then a big screen and kind of like moving from scene to scene, but it's not actually. You are fully immersed in a world that does have projection mapping as a way to kind of bring the ink and paint to life around you. And it stars Mickey Mouse, and I'm a huge fan of the new Mickey Mouse shorts. I love watching The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, which is like now like the actual, I guess, like 20-minute episode series of those shorts, that they're absolutely fantastic and totally eccentric and off the wall, I would say. Even the sense of humor in those shows is so wild. I definitely would say and recommend to watch it on Disney Plus. As a fan of the show, however, I did have the experience of getting on the ride, I think during one of my trips recently during the pandemic, and I totally was stuck in that line for a while because it was back when it was shutting down and then coming back up and stuff, and I missed my flight.
No.
Thanks to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Was it worth it? Probably not.
You have a different perspective.
A slightly different perspective.
Yeah.
If your flight is coming, just do it next time, definitely.
Sure.
But it is an adorable and absolutely delightful ride to be a part of. I love the soundtrack. Nothing's gonna stop us now unless you're me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then,
No one's going
although
home.
it's very on brand for the ride and for my husband and I to have missed our flight with this ride.
Great
it's
story.
very cute. It's
Yeah.
great. But don't miss your flight.
Yeah, not worth missing your flight for, probably. Absolutely. And this being one of those experiences that technologically sort of push the boundaries of
For
Imagineering. You can feel it. You can definitely feel it and experience it. How long would you say it's worth waiting for? Say if you don't have a Fast Pass, which in the pandemic era, Fast Pass has not been available. But how long would you say this is worth waiting for time-wise if you don't have a Fast Pass?
I think maybe 2 hours max, possibly.
Wow.
I think.
All right.
If you're a huge Mickey fan, I would say, particular, 2 hours in the morning.
There you go. Yeah. Right as things kick off.
Yes, right as things kick off.
I mean, it is the icon of the park, the Chinese theater being right there down the center corridor when you walk in. It is essentially the Cinderella Castle of Hollywood studios. So it does beckon a lot of people there, especially early in the morning. Everybody kind of rushes to it. But what we want to do is share with you the feedback we received from our viewers. We asked you in a poll whether or not you would make this a part of your Disney vacation. In fact, we said, is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway worth your vacation time? 81% of you said it's a must-do, while only 19% said, not really. So overwhelmingly, people said, absolutely, this is a do-it for them. I take it, Sabina, that it is a do-it for you, just don't miss your flight.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So you definitely have that do-it, which is great. And now we jump out to Disney's Hollywood Studios, where Florida reporter Gared Hassel is in front of that iconic attraction. Tell us, buddy, when it comes to doing it or ditching it, what say you?
Well, I went on this opening day, so I got to see the whole show, whether with the pre-show where the cartoon literally explodes, and for me, it's a definite must. I think it's when I first went on it, I gave it a solid B. But as time has gone by, I've seen the re-rideability on it because there's 4 cars, and depending on where you are, the ride is different. You see different aspects of it completely, and I think the re-rideability is great. Fun, it's fun to go. The use of projection mapping, which Disney Imagineers have been trying to utilize more and more over the years, is just simply stunning. And the different scenes are great. And I can foresee that in the future, as more of these cartoons come out, they can change this up and make it be different things, because you go from the Wild West to a carnival to dancing with Daisy to being in a steel mill, I guess. So this is an absolute must attraction. It's fun for everyone. Plus, using trackless ride technology is just, it blows me away, and getting to go inside the Chinese theater is simply just a lot of fun. Nothing against past rides that have been at this location, but I definitely think this one is gonna outshine the other ones. But yeah, it's a definite must for me. Plus, that neon at night or in the early morning just shines, and it looks so clean. It's whimsical. It's very reminiscent of, old school Hollywood. So come on out, and then you can have that song stuck in your head. And then at the end, Goofy might shock your butt.
Yeah.
Sounds weird, but it's true. He does it, and it's fun.
Nothing like a butt shock to really enjoy an attraction.
It's better than the cockroaches and bugs at It's Tough to Be a Bug.
That's true.
I think, at least.
Yeah, you don't have to have
That's
that.
just crazy. That's just
Who
weird.
invented that?
The most sinister of Imagineers invented that. That's
Joe
for sure.
Rody?
Yeah.
Joe Rody, maybe?
Probably.
And we need cockroaches crawling across people's rumps by
I was
the end.
half expecting that on Web Slingers to be in effect. I was like,
Good call.
cautious.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Spiders. Yeah.
No, I think that'd be cool. I haven't gone on Web Slingers, but that sounds like something cool.
Seems like it is a missed opportunity. Yeah, that it didn't happen. But when it comes to the time limit that you would wait without a fast pass, what would you say is the perfect amount of time for waiting for an attraction like this?
I would say an hour and a half. Unfortunately, the majority of this queue is going to be outside,
Yeah.
so it can seem a little
true.
bit like, especially in the summertime, outside, like they have umbrellas, but man, that heat just beats down on you. So an hour and a half. Right now it's 45, which is the perfect amount of time I
That's
think for any
perfect,
attraction.
yeah.
If you get 45 for, I wouldn't consider this an e-ticket, but I would. 45 is definitely doable. Hour and a half top. 2 hours, Sabina. You're way too nice.
I feel like
That's
if it's
it.
your first time getting on it, like, and you haven't been
Not
on
even
it.
then.
No.
That's like, I'm gonna wait 2 hours for mine card, and I'm like, no.
Some people say it's worth it. I mean, some people will miss their flight home just to experience it. Yeah.
I think we waited for 4
I-
hours.
Oh my
Or 3.5
gosh.
or 4. But that was
Wow.
because the ride shut down in the middle of
Oh,
us
okay.
being in line.
That
So
makes
we
more
were
sense.
too close to
likely
the
story.
inside.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good call on that. This ride is similar to Rise of the Resistance over at Galaxy's Edge. Each vehicle uses an RFID puck system, is what they call it, to move throughout the layout. The vehicles also use a charging pad in the load and unload zones to ensure that they stay charged throughout the ride. Again, a very technologically advanced attraction. Absolutely, it's a do it from me. So you got do it's all around. Overwhelmingly in our poll, everybody said do it too. This is one of those attractions that, especially dedicated to Mickey Mouse. I don't know why it took so long to have a Mickey-centered attraction, but this pays wonderful homage to Mickey himself, especially New Age Mickey with the cartoons. It's an absolutely wonderful experience if you can go on it. I would say for me, I'm about that hour and a half mark. 2 hours is pushing it, but I'm about that hour and a half mark. If you don't have a fast pass and you're willing to wait, definitely something worth experiencing. One of those that I think Gared pointed it out, where it's something that they can continue to tweak over the course of time. And I think we're
That'd
seeing
be great
it.
if they did. There's so many
Could you
scenes
imagine?
in there. You know, there's an episode called Cheese Wranglers that's hilarious. I would like to see that in like the Western scene. There's
I
also-
love Mickey's voice, where it's like,
Yes.
where he like gets like this stern chin, and then
Yeah,
everyone-
it's like the memification of Mickey on that show
Yeah.
is
or
incredible.
the House of Tomorrow.
The House of
I
Tomorrow.
love-
Yes.
That is so much funny. It's like, it's a great big beautiful tomorrow, shining at the end of every day. And then
Yes.
Donald's like, calm down, Donald. I can't calm down. Like,
And they could even change the
Wow.
Daisy dance room to the roller skating disco.
Oh, what a great
the
idea.
first one,
So
the
great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities in this attraction for years to come, which is great. Flexible attraction as more and more of the rides are becoming, which is pretty cool, because just as something starts to get a little stale, they can plus it up. So definitely do it's all around from us here. Hey, are you somebody that feels like we totally missed the mark? Are we off base entirely? Let us know in the comments section whether or not this is a do it or a ditch it for you, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Hey, you stick around. More Kingdom Report Live for you next.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Kingdom team, all call time. This is the question and answer segment of the broadcast where we take a look at some of the questions you have sent us over at kingdomreportlive.com. If you have a question for the team, just head on over to the website and put it into the box that you see that says, got a question for the Kingdom team? Just click on that box and let us know what's on your mind. We try and get to as many as possible. We definitely try to answer as many as we can on the broadcast itself, make them into a segment. This week, we do have a question from Joel King, and Joel asks, do you think we are about to enter a new Disney decade at Disney World now that the company is relocating 2,000 employees from California to Florida? This is something that Joel is mentioning because in recent news headlines, Disney announced that they are relocating over 2,000 Disney parks, experiences, and products employees from California to their new campus in Lake Nona in Florida. This is something that I think surprised a lot of people, certainly, because why are they uprooting 2,000 people to go across the country? No doubt this is a business move. No doubt this is something for the sake of trying to relocate folks for the sake of cost out to Florida. I think, interestingly enough, in this question, citing the Disney decade, for those that don't know, by the way, and we'll fill you in on that, Disney decade being one of those things in Disney history where the 1990s were considered the Disney decade, where Michael Eisner and the company were firing on all cylinders, and creatively at all stages, from your consumer products to your animation to your live action to your theme parks, everything was hitting on such a high level, and things were being produced at such a high level that they were booming. Right? The Disney company was booming. They hit a new sort of gold rush era, and Walt Disney World, we witnessed, kind of exploded in growth, and so many more things were added to Walt Disney World in Orlando. So this question being about whether or not this relocation of 2,000 employees from California out to Florida might be a nod in that direction of whether or not the company is about to invest all over again out in Florida, I think is a good question, because why else would they uproot this outside of cost cutting for the sake of operating in the state of California, which unfortunately has become a very expensive state to function in. A lot of businesses have uprooted here and left and gone to places like Texas. They've gone to places like Florida. They've gone to other states, Arizona, for example, that have far less in terms of tax costs and production costs. And so they've gone to other places to conduct their business. And no doubt this is a shot across the bow, probably at our state government, for the sake of it's expensive to do work here, and so that's why they're primarily uprooting people to go across. But the business segment of who these cast members are, being parks, consumer products, and experiences, going out to Florida, does raise that question, I think, Sabina, of is there about to be a whole new investment in Florida? Is there about to be a whole new investment in the growth of Walt Disney World into the near future? I have to say, from my perspective, I feel like, as much as I want to say yes, I don't really feel like that's the priority of the incoming CEO, Bob Chapek.
I would have to agree with you. There is a lot happening right now. And Bob is handling it the way Bob Chapek handles things. So, with everything that's gone down, honestly, there's been a lot of questions about, will remote work become a more common thing? Will all these folks actually have to move over there? Earlier in the show, we were talking about housing, and if there is availability for folks to move out there feasibly. So there's a lot of stuff up in the air about it. And while we could, hope that it could be a new Disney decade, I think we won't know until like a year or two from now, when everything really shakes out, I think is when we'll have a better idea of the effects of some of these choices of the Disney streaming service and the effect on movie theaters. We just lost all the Disney stores for the most part and are trying to pivot to online shopping, which I personally, I like being in a store and being surrounded by things to pick. So I'm not a fan of some of those choices. So I think, I don't see the Disney decade being based off some of the things that have made the consumers unhappy in recent times.
Sure.
So when things shake out, I think we might see leadership sort of maybe change again.
A departure of Bob Chapek, perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah, very quickly we might see. But yeah, definitely one of those. Definitely one of those moves that raises a lot of questions. It's like, is this purely a political stunt
Right.
to try and again, a shot across the bow at basically the state of California, saying like it's too costly to operate here, to uproot 2,000 people. Those are families. Those are people that have lives here. Then send them out to Florida. Is it a political stunt, or is it truly because there's about to be a major investment out east? I would hope, for the sake of Disney loving fans everywhere, and we might learn at the Destination D23 this November, as it's happening in Florida, we might learn at that event that maybe they do have some really big projects on the line that we just aren't privy to yet. I just don't get the feeling like that's going to happen, especially since they did most recently, in terms of parks and resorts announcements. They went on this big binge about Disneyland Forward and the whole
Exactly.
increasing square footage here at the original Magic Kingdom, and growing things out on the West Coast was kind of the priority, it seemed like, next. So this move just seems so bizarre. So bizarre. If it's truly just a political move, it seems a little short-sighted. But Gared, let's jump out to you in Walt Disney World over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. You're there. You've seen the Lake Nona campus. You've been there, right? You've been around the area. So you know that the market out there, everybody's moving to Florida for the most part at the moment anyway, and the housing market is on fire. There's very few places to even live. But what's
Right.
your take? Are we about to see a Disney decade?
I think right now it's too early to call for a brand new Disney decade, just because, things are. I got a little close to me. I think it's too early to call, but the direction I think that Disney's going in is that corporate structure and corporate HQ will happen at Burbank still. I think that the parks will be pretty much run from Walt Disney World, because you can put Imagineers out here. There's a ton more land out here than there is in California, because in California, land is so, first of all, Florida, you just, you got to dig up a bunch of swamp and you've got, 1,000 acres and you're good to go. So I could see them, moving a lot of Imagineering and a lot of park-specific events out here, to where Walt Disney World is the icon of theme parks around the world. We're going to do operations here. I would hope that, they would still have some stuff going on at Disneyland, but too early for a Disney decade. Maybe after we see a new CEO come in place. I don't think Chapek will be there in the long run. Perhaps a man by the name of Josh. Maybe he will step in, and when he ascends the throne, we will see a new Disney decade, but it's not going to be quite like, Eisner's or Iger's. Like Iger, he did so much. He acquired every intellectual property known to man, pretty much, except for Harry Potter. But too early for a Disney decade, but I'm excited to see what happens. But welcome to Florida, everyone. It's hot in the summertime. There are gators and a lot of mosquitoes, and the summer's miserable. And we got 2 summers, hurricane and summer.
That's right.
Welcome to Florida.
Yeah.
We got orange juice.
Well, at least there's that. Yeah. And Orange Bird.
Orange Bird.
And Orange Bird.
Does
Yeah,
Orange
get
Bird
yourself
have
a
a
Dole Whip.
name?
I don't know. Does Orange Bird have a name, Gared? Aren't you an expert on Orange Bird?
No, Orange Bird and I aren't talking right now.
That's unfortunate.
And why isn't it
Yeah, he didn't.
Julius?
Yeah, right. It
What?
should be
It
Julius.
should be Julius.
That's a great
Well,
point.
there's an Orange Julius brand, and I think Disney's like, we got Orange Bird. We don't really want to compete, but his name should be Julius. But yeah, Orange Bird's just an icon. A lot of people who come here don't even know what Orange Bird is. They're like, why does that bird have an orange head? I'm like, it's Orange Bird. What can you do?
Clearly,
You should.
Orange Bird.
You
Like,
should.
people don't know who Figment is. They see a purple dragon, they're like, is that Spyro? It's like, no,
Oh.
it's Figment or Puff the Magic Dragon. Don't you know?
You should go through a complete indoctrination training before you arrive to Walt Disney World. At the airport, you need to go through a class before you even get to go into the theme parks.
He is not what Eric Idle referred him to as.
Make it so. That's right. Well, buddy, we appreciate you weighing in on that topic. Let us know in the comment section, are you somebody who feels as though this move is purely political on Disney's part, or are they just trying to make a statement for the sake of moving and cost-cutting? Or is there more to this? Do you think we are on the cusp of a Disney decade, as Joel says there? We'd love to know your perspective. As always, leave it in the comment section, and we try and respond to as many people as possible. All right, my friends, that about wraps the show up this week. Sabina, tell us where people can find out more about you and your work.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Sabina has no R and on Instagram at that lady Graves. I am a film and theme parks correspondent over at comingsoon.net and also on the nerdsofcolor.org, where you can find my review for the Jungle Cruise.
Hey.
I was able to watch it earlier this week before it dropped on Disney Plus. I had a lot of thoughts. I personally really enjoyed it. I would recommend going out to the theater. If you're not comfortable going out to the theater, just watch it on the biggest screen possible at home. Have like a tiki drink night.
There you go.
And, maybe recreate some dishes from the Skipper Canteen. I know my friends over at Nom Talk Network will also be posting some Jungle Cruise content and recommendations as well. So you can find me in all those places and, talk to me about Disney things and Disney parks and what I should check out this fall when I go for the 50th anniversary.
Talk Disney tour. She's asking. Do it. So a definite do it for you when it comes to Jungle Cruise. That's awesome. Great.
Yes.
I can't wait to see it. I haven't been able to see it yet. Looking forward to that moment when I get to see it on the big screen. Hopefully it'll be in the very near future for me. And yes, be sure to check her out, the nerdsofcolor.org, and all of her great works. Connect with her on social media as well. Well, my friends, before we get out of here, as a reminder, we like to reward you for watching this broadcast. Make sure that you leave in the comment section down below the phrase that pays this week's Pixar Peer. Pixar Peer is what you need to be writing down below. Again, you have until Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. We will reach out to you if you are the randomly selected winner, and you can pick, you can say, I want my own color. I want my own. I want blue. I want pink. I want yellow.
Make it pink. Make it blue.
I want taupe. Whatever color you want. You let us know, okay? At any rate, we so appreciate you spending some of your weekend with us. If you know Disney Parks fans out there that would appreciate this broadcast, please share it with them. And again, if you're listening to us, make sure to rate and review wherever you're listening. We so appreciate you taking time out of your weekend to listen to some Disney magic and to contribute to the Disney magic as well. As always, remember the legacy of Walt Disney lives on because of people like you and me. We'll see you next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, for an all-new Kingdom Report Live.